Okay, now let's talk about integers, but subtracting this time. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, what they do is they get the math, and here's the math, and then they use their eyeballs, and then they stare at the math until, like, I don't know, something clicks in their head and they can do it. No, don't do that. That's not a good idea. That is a bad idea. Don't do that. Instead, write it out. So the first thing you should do whenever you get one of these problems is to rewrite it. Okay? What that does, that allows you to think as you're writing, you get ownership of the problem and you can feel like you could do more with it. Now, next thing you should do while you're just starting on this is to rewrite everything as addition. Here's what I mean. Negative 19 doesn't change. Stays negative 19. Okay? Now, minus negative 14 does change because two negatives make a positive. So these two negatives next to each other make a plus 14. And then finally, you have minus 16, which you can totally leave as minus 16, but for the starters, I would just say make that a plus 2. So a minus 16 is the same thing as plus a negative 16. Okay, so now you've converted this. Now you can take this a couple of different ways. Okay, and once again, you can always pause, rewind, fast forward this video, whatever. This video is for you. Okay, so one way to do this is say, listen, these are all addition. So you can do addition in any order that you want. So if you want, you could do negative 19 plus negative 16. And two negatives, when you add them together, they just get more negative. So that'd be negative what, 35? Then you'd add 14 to it. Okay, so if you were to put that on a number line, you would start with negative 35, and then you'd say, okay, I want to add 14. I want to move to the right 14. Oh, that's just subtracting it, isn't it? That's just saying 35 minus 14, which is like 21. So the answer to this would be negative 21. Now, if you didn't want to do it that way, then what you could do is just go left to right. So let's say you have this. Can I duplicate that? Yeah. Let's say you have the problem, and now you just do it left to right, which is fine too. Both is great. Negative 19 plus 14. Well, if I have negative 19, and then I get positive 14, negative 19, and I move to the right 14, oh, that just leaves me at negative 5. So negative 5 plus negative 16, they're both negative, so I just add them together. So that's negative 21. Same answer, different way. Okay, now let's look at another one. Okay, so now we have negative 13. Oh, these two negatives make a positive 19. Then we have minus 15. So, or we could say plus negative 15. It's the same thing. So once again, we have two ways. We can add the negative 13 and negative 15 and get negative 28 plus 19. So do the math on that. Pause it and do the math. After you do the math, then I'll tell you the answer. Okay, the answer is negative 9. Or you could just go left to right. If I have negative 13 plus 19 plus negative 15, do negative 13 plus 19. That gives you a positive 6. Positive 6 plus negative 15, also a negative 9. Okay, good work, yo.